Well, you can see where this is going. Some of the cable companies, which make half of their revenue simply based on subscription fees, half on advertising, half on what they get from consumers who are forced to pay for hundreds of channels, they hate this idea. At least some of them hate this idea. Because an organization like Fox News, a study was recently done that suggested that if all Americans who have cable now, more than 100 million Americans who subscribe to cable, how many of those 100 million Americans would actually bother, a la carte, to pay for Fox News to be on their system? Want to take any guesses? 5 million. 5 million would be willing to pay. But Fox News right now, they get money for being on 100 million cable homes because the market is rigged. CNN, how many news consumers, how many people, the 100 million who subscribe to cable, how many of those 100 million would choose to pay for CNN? Keep in mind, Fox News was 5 million. How many would choose to pay for CNN? 50 million. Why? Well, wait a second. CNN's ratings are not so good. Because what happens is most cable consumers, they go through their mind and think, all right, well, I kind of want to have a sports channel in case there's something really good on sports, and I kind of want to have a news channel in case news breaks and I, want to turn on and see what's going on. That's CNN's reputation. So they stand to essentially bury Fox News and MSNBC financially if this bill gets passed. Because not only would CNN be, have 50 million people who are willing to pay specifically for CNN, but because of that, CNN would be able to charge the cable companies a little bit more than they can charge right now to carry CNN. Fox News, of course, they hate this arrangement. It would hurt them financially. MSNBC, according to one survey, they would have perhaps 2 million or fewer people who would be willing to pay to carry MSNBC would have 2 million or fewer who would be willing to pay for MSNBC to be carried on their local cable channel. But right now, MSNBC makes money for more than 100 million cable subscribers. It's complicated, but it's a fascinating piece of legislation. And as somebody who has worked at Fox News and CNN and MSNBC and has spent a lot of time not only on the journalism side, but trying to understand the business side of cable news, this piece of legislation that John McCain has introduced could fundamentally transform the cable business, fundamentally transform the prices that all of us pay for cable. And, some of us who only watch a little bit of cable would pay very little. Some of us who watch a lot of cable would pay a lot more.